Oh, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Illusion, here bringing you the Week 1 Team Builder and Battle for the League of Zoroark, hosted by my boy, YA. Now, over here, we have the team matchup. My first opponent was Itzia, and my team is Landorus, Therian, Mega Gallade, Volcanion, Celebi, Scizor, Togekiss, Dragalge, Swallow, Darmanitan. And he has Mega Latias, Skarmory, Manaphy, Scolipede, Alolan Marowak, Whimsicott, Machamp, Thundee, Piloswine, and Delibird. So when I saw this matchup, the first thing I noticed was my matchup is terrible. Skarmory pretty much like walls of 3/4 of my team. Landorus 3T, it can wall Gallade, it can wall Celebi, it can wall Scizor, it can wall Dragalge to an extent, it can wall Physical Swallow. And he also has Latias Mega, which pretty much deals with anything that can beat Skarmory. So this core is very hard for me to deal with. And on top of that, he has offensive threats such as Manaphy and Scolipede, and especially Thundurus T, that can pretty much break through all of my defensive options. The deal with this matchup, the first Pokemon I made was Spec Swallow with enough speed to outspeed Whimsicott, just in case. With Boom Burst, Heat Wave, Air Slash, and U-Turn. This thing, look, if you look at this team, he doesn't really have a normal resist outside of Skarmory, which gets whacked by Heat Wave. And everything else, maybe except for Death Piloswine, gets 2-hit KO by Boom Burst. Except for Skarmory and Piloswine. And if I catch Skarmory on a switch-in with Heat Wave, then that opens up a lot of doors for the rest of my team. Skarmory is like the biggest defensive thorn in my side this entire match. So hopefully I can deal with it. Boom Burst, Great Stab, Heat Wave for Skarmory, Air Slash. Honestly, I could have left this spot blank. I'm never going to click Air Slash. U-Turn for momentum in case I need it. But most of the time, I'm going to click Boom Burst or Heat Wave. The next Pokemon I have on my team is Scarf Scizor with enough speed to outspeed Max Speed Whimsicott again. So I need this thing because Mega Latias can pretty much body my team just eat the whole team alive. If it beats Gallade in a speed tie, then it gets a Calm Mind Up or 2, and then it beats Gallade in a speed tie. If I didn't have Scarf Scizor, that'd just be GG right there. This thing is my way of weakening Latias. If he thinks he can outspeed and KO with Hidden Power Fire, I can U-turn on it, do a crap ton of damage, and then I go into something like Gallade on the Hidden Power Fire, and then I can pressure it into not recovering, and that helps my team a lot. This thing gets momentum on his entire team. It can help check Manaphy. This thing and Swallow both outspeed it, so if it gets out of hand, it gets a +3, KOs some Pokemon. I can use this as an emergency check. Bullet Punch, this is a really good check to Scolipede too, because it doesn't get KO'd by one move by Scolipede. Maybe a +2 Z move, but still can out prioritize it with Bullet Punch. But basically this thing, I need it for Mega Latias, because if I don't have it, then I have a chance of just getting 6-0'd outright. This is my only physical attacker that is faster than Latias, and can do enough damage with its stabs. The next Pokemon I have on my team is an interesting Gallade set. Taunt, Bulk Up, Ice Punch, Drain Punch. This thing I'm hoping to it outspeeds his team. It can a lot of his team. It's the only thing that outspeeds it naturally, that just straight up outspeeds it, is Whimsicott, which I don't think he'll bring, and even if he does, I have really good answers to it. And I have Taunt Bulk Up to try and 1v1 Skarmory. Taunt prevents rocks, it prevents roost. Bulk Up means I can tank Brave Bird a lot better and then recover. If I want, a lot of my Pokemon are dedicated to trying to 1v1 Skarmory, because if Skarmory goes down, it opens up the door for Mega Scizor to just body his team, because he doesn't have good resistances to Bug Steel, Dark coverage. Drain Punch and Ice Punch. Ice Punch for Mega Latias hits Whimsicott, hits Thundurus T, and Drain Punch, good fighting stab, hits Piloswine. Unfortunately, this set's pretty much walled by Marowak, but I'm not really scared of Marowak at all. I don't think he'll bring it. I have Lando. He can try and sub. He can't really even sub either because I have Specs Boom Burst. So I even have Volcanion that has Steam Eruption, and even Dragalge can tank a hit I don't think it outspeeds if you run speed creep, but still, not scared of Marowak at all. That's why I have Gallade. Hopefully it can put in work, and if this one like doubles down with Skarmory, that'll be like best case scenario. Lando T, I have the Yahtzee Berry set. These EVs, this is just speed creeping like all his defensive Pokemon. They can't really go past this. Like this outspeeds Machamp, Piloswine, outspeeds Alolan Marowak. And it has Yahtzee Berry because my entire team gets dunked on by Thunderous Therian if I don't have this. It's my only electric immunity, which I need it because Thunderous T can kind of Volt Switch with impunity on like Swellow and like Volcanion. And if it Rock Pulses up, this is like my emergency check to it. If it's Scarf, this like adds like some mind game because you can't just Volt Switch freely. I can bring this in, and even if Hidden Power fires, I can live one Hidden Power Ice with the Yahtzee Berry. This EVs let me live a +2 HP Ice from Thunderous Therian, which is useful. If I can set up rocks, U-turn, for momentum. You don't know how it is. Stone Edge to try and OHKO Thunderous, or at least put it in range of Bullet Punch from Scissor. So that's my Landorus set. The next Pokemon I have on my team is Dragalge with Sugar Berry. The only reason the thing is on my team is one reason: offensive Scolipede. If my team gets weakened, Scolipede can run through my team. I expect them to have like Z Aqua Tail or maybe Z Earthquake SD set, or it can just be Baton Pass set. But I have to bring this because if I don't, offensive runs through my entire team because I don't have any recovery on Scissor. If this gets weakened even a little bit, Scolipede can just destroy it. This lives a +2. I think it lives even a +2 Z Earthquake from Scolipede. And these 4 moves pretty much hits his entire team. Draco Meteor, Strong Stab, Dragon Pulse in case I want to spam a Dragon move without dropping my special attack. Sludge Wave, Stab with that adaptability. Thunderbolt for Skarmory. If he's like Spadefish, which I think he might be, it doesn't do that much damage. It does about like 40-something%. But I can get the Para on it, and then that'll like put the matchup in my favor with Dragalge versus Skarmory, which is pretty nice. I thought about bringing T-Spikes, but decided against it because you could just bring in Scolipede, so no T-Spikes in this matchup. But the Sugar Berry is useful for Scolipede. And if Scolipede goes down, this is pretty good sack fodder, because I only need this for Scolipede, and it's pretty like useful. It can be pretty useful versus other Pokemon as well. My last Pokemon is Gracium Z, no grass move, Volcanion, Fuego set. So, I was actually deliberating between having Steam Eruption or Solar Beam. I eventually decided on Steam Eruption for burns, but then I forgot to remove Gracium Z, so that was just a mistake on my part. Toxic for Mega Latias, hopefully. I don't think he'll bring Refresh, but he might. But this is my only way of Volcanion harming Latias. Roar, so this EVs are able to take a +3 any attack from Manaphy. If he gets a Tail Glow Up, that can Roar out. Maybe he'll like try and do like a subset, like sub defensive to try and set up on Volcanion. Roar can stop that. It also, like, if I bring this in on Scolipede and he set up like a sub, I can Roar out so he doesn't set up. So Scolipede, if it sets up like a speed, like +4, like 3 speed to Latias and it Calm Minds and Sword Power, I lose. So I can never let that happen. So I need Roar. That's also why I have Special Swallow to deter him using any sort of subset. But yeah, Flamethrower, Fire Covered in Steam Eruption is, Volcanion's strongest move and can get burned. I actually have to be careful of clicking Steam Eruption before I Toxic Latias, because if Latias gets burned and not Toxic, then it's really hard for me to break. It's like that Skarmory Latias combo, especially if Latias is burned, not Toxic, can really like hamper me breaking it. Because these first three are my ways of breaking Latias, and Skarmory pretty much can deal with all 3 of these, at least to an extent. So I need to be careful. I'm probably not going to click Steam Eruption until Latias is Toxic, but Steam Eruption will be nice for Manaphy, for Scolipede and whatnot, and for Marowak. So that's why I have it. Just a little bit of speed creeping, like maybe this is speed creeping Adamant Marowak, I think. I don't think he'll bring Jolly, but he might. And this special attack does a lot. I think no bulk Manaphy. This breaks the sub with Steam Eruption, which is pretty good. And that's my team of 6 I'm hoping to win. So let's get into the match. So this is the matchup. Let me switch sides real quick. So first turn here. First turn here, I look at the team matchup. He pretty much brought exactly what I thought he would, with the exception of a Alolan Marowak. I wasn't expecting that, but these 5 I was like 100% expecting because they all body my team. I lead with Volcanion, predicting a Skarmory lead, a Scolipede lead, a Marowak lead, or a Latias lead. So actually, Volcanion beat everything on his team but Thundurus, and I had a pretty good way to scout Thundurus with Landorus Therian. So I leave Volcanion, he leaves Thundurus. Obviously, I can't stay in because I'll get O-code, and if Volcanion goes down, that's really bad. So I go right here. He goes right here for the Volt Switch. And I'm immune to that. I switched in without fear because I had the Yahtzee Berry. Even if he made like a head-ass, like super hard read and went Hidden Power Ice, I would be able to live that. There's no way he would have went for that, especially if in case I was like Wakan Volcanion. So right here, it's me. I will go for the Stone Edge. In case he stays in, it goes for the HP Ice. But then he switches out. So one, that kind of gives me suspicions that he's Scarfed, not a setup variant. Or 2, he might be scouting, but it does give me suspicion that he's Scarfed. So right here, I don't want, like, my Landorus can't do anything to Skarmory. I can try and set up rocks, but I think this is the perfect time to bring in my Volcanion and try and get, like, pressure his team. He can't really bring anything in other than Latias. He can bring in Manaphy, but then I can Toxic that and then Roar, and that'll be good. So I just use U-turn here. He goes to Thundurus again, which is pretty interesting. And I go back to, since he brought in Thundurus, and I think it's Scarfed, so I can't bring in Swallow because I think it's Scarfed. Any other Pokemon on my team just get Volt Switched on, so I just bring in Dragouti as a mid-ground play. Goes for the Volt Switch. That does a lot because he crit, and I just go for the safe Sludge Wave, I think. Yeah, I go for the safe Sludge Wave. This is an opportunity for me to Thunderbolt, scout the damage, scout his set. He goes for the Toxic. This didn't matter. I'm a Poison type. Can't get Toxic. I think he was predicting like a switch into Volcanion. But I just go for the Thunderbolt. And it does a lot. But that damage kind of reveals he's like, I think he's mixed defensive with a good amount of Spadef. Not like, he does have some physical investment, but he has a lot of special defense investment too. And now that he's low, he can't afford to like not recover. So I realize this is the perfect time to switch in my Volcanion. As he roost, as I predicted. And even if he does go for the Toxic, keeping Skarmory low is something I need to do for me to win. So that was why I switched into Volcanion. So now I can go for the Steam Eruption, but I don't, in case he goes Latias, I don't want to get the burned. I need it Toxic, not burned. So I just go for the Flamethrower here. It's like a safe play. If it burns, that'd be bad luck on my end. I just go for the Flamethrower here on the Mega Latias, which switches in on this. Now, if he's like Refresh, I can kind of scout that out. He might go for Calm Mind here. But I'm just going to Toxic, you know, to whittle this thing down. He makes a hard read and goes for Hidden Power Fire. I have Spadef investment to live Thunderbolt, but I really don't think that read was the right play. Because if I wasn't Scarfed, he could have just Hidden Power Fired right there. So I just go for the Toxic here. Toxic Latias, and this is great. Now every time it comes in, it's getting whittle damage. It has to keep roosting up, especially when it switches into Steam Eruption. And now I can kind of scout if he's Refresh, and I can keep it low by going for Steam Eruption. I don't like, he might have Thunderbolt, but I can tank that easily. I go for Steam Eruption. Manaphy comes in. I do 25%, like as I said in the team builder, it was able to break this up, and I get the burn, which is super good. Because now I can kind of stay in and go for the Steam Eruption and lower this below 50%, which puts it in range of Boom Burst, Bug Bite, I think even Drain Punch if he's uninvested. So that's good for me. he shows leftover. He's not Z move, which is really good. That means like it's even harder for him to break through Volcanion, which is nice. He switched out. So the reason he switched out, I went for Steam Eruption here because just to get more damage off. He switched out scouting the Grassium Z Solar Beam, but I don't have it. I can kind of agree with this play because I do have the Grassium Z item. I just don't have Solar Beam. But I think this was just like too risky for him of a play to make. I just go for the Steam Eruption. It does 90% and it gets the burn. So now this is great because Scolipede is dead. It's just gone. One of the biggest threats to my team is gone. It can't baton pass to Latias. It can't like set up sweep and break through my team. And now because this thing is pretty much dead because it's so low and it's burned, Dragaldi's become expendable, so I can kind of send it out as sack fodder to play it safe. I just stay in because he can't do any damage with Earthquake. Yeah, it does 22%. It wouldn't have even done that much if he wasn't burned. So now he sends in Thunderous. I can just bring in Dragaldi. It's become useless. I don't want to like bring in Landorus T and break my Yachi. He just go for the Hidden Power Ice. He doesn't want to risk the roll here. But I also didn't want my thing to die without Vayne. So I thought he would, I double out thinking he would go to Skarmory on my like Draco Meteor. But he just went to Manaphy. So I switched to Volcanion and tried to pressure it out. But he brings in Manaphy. And I think like, okay, that's fine. I have Roar right here because I know he has to Tail Glow. And I don't think he knows I have Roar. So he just goes for the Tail Glow here as I roar it out. Which is I don't want to take like a +3 attack now that I'm lower. He brings Thunders back in. I can sack I bring in Landers here because I think he's gonna go for the Volt Switch. I've shown willingness to sack Dragaldi. So he might just go for the Volt Switch, predicting that. And even if he Hidden Power Ice, I can kind of make like I can kind of just send out my Yachi. Now, I kind of know this is Scarfed now, so I feel like I don't need my Landorus Therian as much to check a Rock Polish variant. I can kind of use my other Pokemon to check it overall. He goes for the Volswitch. That's perfect. Now I can go for the Stealth Rocks, and now he can't bring that in freely anymore. Especially things like, it'll take 25% every time it comes in. I can U-turn here into Volcanion. He goes for the Toxic, trying to whittle my Volcanion down. Good play. I was kind of scared he'd put up rocks, but Toxic was a good play. I can just go for the Steam Eruption or the Flamethrower. It doesn't matter. On Latias. And you look at it, does pretty respectable damage, but what's really like hurting him is the Toxic. So he has to Roost here, so I can bring in any Pokemon I want. I bring in Dragaldi to make, like, in case he, like, wants to double down and go for Thunderbolt. I could have brought in, I was thinking about bringing in Swellow, but if I lost Swellow, that was really bad. So I just bring in Dragaldi. I just go for the Dragon Pulse here, I think. Oh, no, I double again. I double into Scissor in case he went for, like, a Psychic. It was a safe play, and I can go for the U-turn here and bring in Volcanion again. Yeah, I didn't want him to go for the Refresh or the Calm Mind, the Latias. So I just bring in Scissors so I could U-turn on it. Bring in Volcanion. I can just Steam Eruption again on the Latias, and it'll keep having to recover. Or Flamethrower. It doesn't really matter which one I click. But he has to, like, this thing keeps getting whittled down by my Volcanion. So I can bring in my other Pokemon. He recovers. I bring in Scizor again because he has to recover. And I can U-turn again on whatever Pokemon he brings in. Brings in Skarmory again. Now, I think I bring in my Swellow. Yeah, bring in my Swellow. Specs Heat Wave is going to do a lot. I know he's not fully Spadef. It's going to do a lot. Does about 62%. Which is a little less than I was thinking, but he roosts up. But he can't keep this in here because I can kill it. And this is not a battle he can win. So I double out into Volcanion. Just in case. I double out to a Volcanion, like, in case he went into like Marowak, I think. I don't want to bring a free switch into Marowak because then it can actually start doing damage. I just want to keep my Swallow at high health. He goes for the Store Power here, which does no damage. And finally, Latias goes down. I think he was just getting sick of me switching in and out. I was just trying to like slowly whittle down Latias and Skarmory until I can bring in like Gallade to try and pressure his team. But he lets Latias go down, which is great. That Pokemon, now he has no switch into Volcanion except for Manaphy. And right here, he can't really, I can keep Thunderbolting here, and if he gets parried, that's really bad. So this isn't really a battle he can win. He has to kill me eventually. And then he does so, and I can bring in Volcanion again and just go for Steam Eruption. Manaphy takes a metric fuck ton. Thundurus dies. He brings in Marowak because it's pretty much useless now because I still have Landorus, which I can kind of agree with that sack. And I'm at low health now. He brings in Manaphy. I roar again because I don't want him to set up. He just goes for the hidden power ground, I think, to kill me. But now I can bring in my either my Scizor or my Swallow, and right here I bring in my Swallow, and I can Boom Burst, and Manaphy dies. That crit didn't matter, this is Spec Swallow, and he has no bulk, so that's that. He brings in Thundurus. I have a safe switch in. Oh, I could bring in my Landing Spot predicting the hidden power Ice, and this was a safe play because Scizor was kind of expendable now that Latias is gone and Manaphy was gone. This can't really do much to Skarmory or Thundurus. So even if he Thunderbolted, he wouldn't kill this. I can get some Bullet Punch damage off. And if he did kill it, I could bring Landorus back in and U-turn into Swallow. And then I could Heat Wave and pretty much get a kill. Goes into Skarmory on the U-turn, but now I can just bring in my Swallow and he can't keep recovering off Heat Waves. I can miss, but eventually he's gonna just lose. And he can't switch in Thundurus because that'll die. And I can then like if you were to switch in a Thundurus on that like Heat Wave and didn't die, I could sack either Scizor or Lando in case he went Hidden Power Ice or Thunderbolt, and then bring in the other one and then just U-turn on it, and then bring in Swallow again, and I just win. At this point, it's checkmate. I pretty much won the game. He goes for I sack Swallow here. I don't want to make like a head ass choke and go into Lando. But yeah, he's pretty much lost. There's no one move he can click that beats my entire team. So I just let Swallow go down. And I can go into the Landorus T because he has no way to hit this because I know he's Scarf. He just goes for Thunderbolt. Go for the Stone Edge. I basically had 8 tries to hit this. So I win the game 3-0. Good game to Itzia. I thought I had a rough matchup. I think he made some pretty bold over predictions that didn't work out, and I took advantage of it, even though he had a better matchup. But I think he played pretty well. GG to Itzia. It was a good battle. And I'll see you guys next time.